Hi everyone, welcome to the Sim Cache. First things first, I'm really sorry if I sound slightly different at the moment, but I've got a cold. I was at a music festival on the weekend and I think I've just done too much singing and way too much shouting. And then the glorious British summer decided to grace us with a lovely rain shower. So I don't think that's done me body very well, and I've seemed to have caught a cold. I just think I'm getting too old for things like that now. I don't think my body can handle it. But yeah, my voice is a lot better than it has been though. Yesterday my voice was like non-existent. I couldn't talk. But it's gotten a little bit better today, so I thought I'd try and get voiceover down while I've got some spare time. But been trying to do a Western build, like an old Western build, which I'm not too knowledgeable of the time, like that era, but I'm just going on like how I perceive it to look in my own mind, and pictures that I've looked at, and also like movies that I've saw. But if at any time I have done anything wrong, write us in the comments and just let us know, because that would be helpful for me too. But I originally started this build months ago. I started this not long after my, I think it was the old town build, my last town build. But like a lot of builds, especially the big ones, I get quite bored of them, so I'll save it and put it to one side, and then months down the line I eventually get back to it. But so I have just gotten back to this, but I've decided to restart it because where I'm building now, either side, there was originally 3 buildings either side, but was 2 I just really was unsure what to do with, what to put inside of them. So I took out one building, and then I had the idea of doing like a schoolhouse. So we've got that in this one now, and I quite like this build better than the original. This one's come along quite well. But now I'm working on the saloon. And just, a lot of the pictures I looked at, most of the buildings seem to be sort of wood on the outside, so I've mainly gone with them sort of textures for most of the buildings. But right now I came up with this amazing idea to use this double gate as the door, because it looked so much like a saloon door. And then I finally got around to testing it, and it doesn't work, which was a big letdown. But I thought, you know what, it really adds to the build, it makes it look like a saloon, so I'll just go with it, I'll leave it there, and I'll pop another door around the side. Although I really didn't like that idea, but it was the only thing I could go with. So later on I do pop a door around the side, so you actually can still get in and out of the saloon. And and I don't know how many people are going to like this idea, but then also a lot of what makes like the Western times sort of stand out a lot is the writing. It's got like that's like, you'd probably know what I mean, like that look to it. So I thought I've got to include something like that. And I'm not very fluent in Simlish. I'm not fluent in it at all. So it is in English, which I'm sorry about. I know some people might not like that, but I just thought it really added to the feel of the build. And there is a few of these I do. I write it on the saloon, obviously. You can see is doing this now. I also pop a bank in this build, and I write that on a bank on that one. There's a drugstore where I have that. I write that on the wall for that one as well. And the jailhouse too. I was going to do it on, because I also pop a general store in the build, and I was going to write it on there, and then I just totally forgot about it. And then I got to the end of the build, started taking pictures, and I was like, well, you're great. So that is left out because it was just like after, and doing this really hurt your hand. Honestly, my hand was like cramping up at the end. But it takes a lot of time as well. So the other ones I haven't left them in as much and it's mainly the saloon one you can see. But yeah, if you want to do that in any of your builds, all you've got to do is make sure you've got the move objects cheat on. I use the little coat hanger from the Spa Day pack, and while I'm trying to write it out, I hold down the shift key and the alt key. Once you're in game, you can just test that out and you'll get the hang of it eventually. But yeah, now I'm popping in the windows and the doors on the Drugstore. I can't remember what I do go on to after this. I think I go on to the schoolhouse after this. There's only, I think, the saloon, the Drugstore and the jailhouse, which I get to furnish in this video, and then all the rest is going to be in part 2. With these bigger builds, they do take a hell of a lot of time. It is unbelievable how much time I spend on these big town builds. But they're all worth it in the end, and it's something different for people to see. So yeah, so I do have to split these big builds into 2 parts. That's as well, my building style is like really quite slow. When I am building, I'm not a fast builder. Normally, like when I place down an item or something, that's why you normally see the camera wobbling from side to side. I'll place something down, I like to look at it from all angles just to make sure that it looks nice. But yeah, I've got to really speed up the videos a lot because I'm a really slow builder. It would be like, even little builds would probably be in 2 parters if I slowed them down anymore. But yeah, now I'm working on the schoolhouse, and just like I said before, going with another like wood panel texture on there, and then got that little bit on the top too, which I did try to put in as just a 1x1 squared room, but the roofing wasn't working out when I was trying to do that. It just didn't look quite right. So I had to switch that up a bit and turn that into a 2x2 room. But yes, I'm starting to work on the other side now, which is where we are going to have the bank, the general store, and then there's also a 2-story building, which I still wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with that building. So upstairs there is like a little apartment, and then on the ground floor I've just put in like an office. I don't know what this office is going to be used for. I don't know if it's in keeping with the time, but I just couldn't think of anything else to pop in there. So yeah, we've got an office on the ground floor there, and then on the first floor just a little apartment. Now I'm working on the general store, just doing the roof now, and also the wall bit where I was supposed to be putting the general store sign, but obviously I forgot that, like I said. But yeah, just getting a different wood texture on that there as well, which I find helps a lot when you're doing town builds like this, just to give each building a bit of individuality, making sure that you use different textures and colours on the walls outside, obviously like different windows and doors, and different textures on the roofs too. I find it really helps just to make sure you've got buildings at different levels, and then also having buildings, just some diagonal buildings, but not to go too wild on the diagonal buildings, because trying to roof them is, as you probably know, is a nightmare. It really just doesn't go well trying to roof diagonal buildings at times, so I generally don't go too over the top with too many diagonal walls. But yeah, just making sure I get the fence in there on that balcony in the middle building, and popping some wood flooring down there too. And yeah, moving on to the bank, and I really love this door that I'm messing about with at the minute right now that didn't fit, that I'm going to delete the full bank building and redo it just to make sure that it fits in. Yeah, but I did really like that door, and I thought it set it off. But surprisingly, I have been able to get the inside to look quite a lot like a bank that would have been around in this era, or at least I know, because I'm not too knowledgeable on this, on like the Old West, like I said, but I do really like history, and I like sort of Victorian times and stuff like that. And there is a just down the road from me there is a big, huge, open air museum. It is one of my favourite places to go, and it's like it's a museum, but it's like a little town. So they've got like separate areas. There's like a farm, they've got an old steam train and the train station. There is the little town area, which has a bank, which is why I'm saying this. So I thought I took the look of that bank, because it's sort of like this era, this time around about, more or less. And so I've just gone on that a little bit, and just obviously, like I said, pictures and films and other things that I've saw. But yeah, I'm just working on the jailhouse now, and I had the idea of just using one of the half walls and then getting the jail cell bars and popping them in there to make a little jail window, and then also using them inside to partition the side off, which would be the cell, and which side that maybe, I don't know, like the sheriff would sit on or something. Now I'm trying to make like, I know it might look a bit weird, but I was trying to give the impression that the fence is old, a little bit rickety and worn down. So that's why I'm not just drawing it out straight. I'm leaving bits missed out where it could be bits where the fence is just worn away, and over time it's just like the wood's disintegrated or what have you. And then also just popping in a few plants and bushes and things. I haven't gone too overboard with the plants because it is like a desert, so there isn't going to be a whole lot of plants around, but just to give it a little pop of colour and make it look more brighter and nicer, I just pop in a few plants around there. In the entrance area here, I was just looking for some sort of like wooden sign to hang there, and I found these that I'm popping up now, and I was wanting to write something on there, like maybe the name of the town or something, but then I pretty soon realised that it was way too small to do that, so I done away with that idea. And later on, no, actually I think it is off video because I forgot to do it, I put one of the little sign attachments we got in Dine Out up there, so you may have seen that in the pictures, but yeah, I just popped that there. Right now I'm trying to create I don't actually know what it's called, but the place where you would take your horse and tie them up so they wouldn't go running off. Maybe you know what it's called, you can pop that in the comments just to let us know. And also the little idea of making the trough out of the carved out log chairs. I just thought if you put two of them together that it would look like a little trough for the horses to drink out of. Just popping some more plants in there as well, and little bushes and things. And yeah, this idea I was really quite proud of. I don't know if anybody will like it. I do use the move objects cheat quite heavily here, putting loads of various objects together, but I'm just trying to create a sort of like a cart or a little wagon. I was going to use the other flower cart, but just when I sized that up, the flowers on top were too big, so I'm just using some shelves on either side to make the walls of the cart, and then used a different style of shelf to make the seating area, and also make some steps on the back there too. And I do grab out one of the little toy horses and size that up and pop that in front. And also with the actual flower cart I've used, there is the flowers on top. There wasn't anything I could do about that, so I just tried to build it up and just make it look like it was like supplies or something. I don't know why you'd be buying supplies of flowers, but who knows. Yeah, but it is right outside the general store, so I thought maybe it could be someone that was buying supplies from the town. But yeah, also just going with some of the little stones and popping them about the place. And now moving on to the jailhouse. So in the jail side, the cell side, I've just popped two little benches in there. I just didn't want to leave it totally blank and nothing in there, so just popped them two little benches there. And then in the other side, where you might have the sheriff sitting, there is the desk and a chair, and just try to keep it looking sort of like old, you wouldn't really use modern furniture in a build like this, so just old sort of like wood furniture, things like that. Just popped a few things on the table there and a little coat hangers and pictures on the wall, just so it wasn't too bland and too boring. But there wasn't going to be a lot in there. Just inside, kept the flooring the same as the outside and the same with the walls. Yeah, and now I am on the outside. I'm writing the jail sign on the wall, so you know that this is the jail. And also, I didn't really like the way that the jail cell window was looking at the top there, so I just put some of the shelves, I've sized some of them up and just ran them along there just to hide that a bit, and also just to mark out the space for where I would be able to put the jail writing too. But yeah, the writing actually takes a hell of a lot longer than it looks it does, but also I had to keep reverting back to pictures that I had found on Google just to make sure that I was doing the writing in like a style that I was looking for. And yeah, just popping some posters on the wall as well, which I thought could be there for like wanted posters. Now I know they are like artistic drawings of like naked Sims, but I just went with it. They were the things that looked like that looked the most like wanted posters, at least in my mind they did. But who knows, maybe there could be Sims that had been streaking around town and now they're wanted for streaking, so they're wanted streakers, who knows. But yeah, and now I am working on the railway. I just thought if I'm building a town like this, there has got to be a railway in it. I don't know much about like American history, but I know in England the railway was like a really big thing for the Industrial Revolution and for like towns. And I know in England, like outside of big cities, was loads of little towns, little villages all over. And until the railway had been developed, until like the steam train, then people bought everything locally, like all the food, the furniture, clothing, or they would make it themselves. And it wasn't until the invention of the railways that things became a lot more accessible and a lot more affordable. So yeah, it wasn't like a unknown thing for people to still be cooking on like open log fires, like with spit roasts and things. But yeah, enough of my rambling. I'm just taking some of the lower lying fence in the black and running some parallel lines down there, and then putting in between them just some of the shelves just to make it look like a train track. I've also took two of the child's like coal carts, train coal carts, and just size them up and pop them on there as well. And yeah, I've just got some of these old boarded up like mining shafts. I just thought maybe there could have been a little sort of tunnel where the train used to go through, but now it's maybe a bit derelict and dangerous, so it's been boarded off. But yeah, just putting some more of them stones around the place because I didn't think I'd placed enough already. And yeah, I was just popping some more plants around as well, and also pop a nice tree over here just to make it look nice. And also I've just built up the plants quite a bit around here, just because obviously the train track does just suddenly end, which that really wouldn't happen, but just to try and hide that slightly. I suppose I have put the schoolhouse there, so that sort of like takes your eye away from that just totally ending there. And that's also why I put the little mining shaft on the other side too. I'm still just going around and putting a few more plants in, and now we eventually get to furnishing the saloon. I haven't gone too crazy in here. It's just obviously the bar area, and I did go to use the that bar piece there that you saw us putting in that we got with Get Together, I think it was. But the frustrating thing is you can only use that if you're heighting the walls up one, and I really didn't want that. I'd already built everything and had everything set out the way I did, so I didn't really want to just heighten the walls up for that one little piece. So yeah, I've just went and got some of the countertops and cabinets and just popped them in and tried to make my own little bar area. Obviously we have got one of the bars and pop that in the front there, and now I'm just trying to put some more cabinets around, make it look like it's more of a closed off sort of bar area. And yeah, I did fiddle about this far too much than I should have, but it looked nice in the end. And also I just get one of the pianos out and pop that in the corner. Now in most pictures, like in the old West Times, I haven't really saw many pianos like this. They're normally the high topped, like the ones with the high backs to them, but there isn't any of them obviously in The Sims 4, so I've just popped this one in instead. But yeah, just popping a few tables and chairs around there, some pictures on the walls, and also put some lights on the walls and a few little plants around the place, but not too much in here. And obviously you can see we have put the door around the side, so that's the door that you would have to use rather than the swing doors at the front, because they're not usable. And yeah, moving on to upstairs, I wasn't quite sure what to put up here. I thought maybe put some toilets, but then I thought, well, and like a lot of like Western movies I've seen, there's normally like a little cabin outside where the toilet will be. So I thought maybe just have upstairs like a rest area, hotel area or something. So we've got 2 bedrooms upstairs that maybe that the saloon would be renting out. Now I know in some movies there is like maybe a brothel above the saloon, but I thought it's a Sims 4, and if you want it to be that, then that is up to you. But in my build, this is going to be a sort of little hotel area, a little rest area. But yeah. So on this floor here, we obviously have the hallway which leads off to both the bedrooms and the balcony. And in the first bedroom, we obviously have a bed, side table, and a wardrobe. And I've also tried to pop in there like some sort of little writing desk or something, and then put like mirrors on the walls and pictures and things. Then also in the second room we have 2 beds, and we have a set of drawers and a little chair in the corner. And I've just tried to make the second room just look a little bit more like expensive than the first one. And then obviously going out onto the balcony, I have put 2 of the card tables out there as well. And yeah, moving on to where the drugstore is going to be now, and I have tried to create a display area for where all of the medicines and things would be kept, just by taking some of the counters and some of the cupboards from the kitchen section, and also taking that trophy cabinet and sizing that up. Then I've also went and took some shelves and popped them in the trophy cabinet, just so there's some shelving there for all the different kinds of medicine bottles, and for all them bottles and pill bottles and things. I've just searched through and used, well, a lot of the perfume bottles really, but in my mind they are going to be medicine bottles. But yeah, just anything that I could find that was like glass jar-like, or just anything that could be perceived as being a pill bottle or a medicine bottle, I've just took and shoved it in them cabinets that I've made there. I've just took the same counters as I've used on the back wall cabinets there too, just to create like a service counter for the store. And also in one of the corners of the service counter, I take some more shelves. They really come in handy for me, all these shelves. But yeah, I've took some more shelves and just stacked them up so they were tiered. So there's like 3 tiers, so there is like a little stand just for some more little bottles that I've found, and I've put them all along there. I also place some screenshots in this video, which is not something I normally do for the first part of my 2-part videos, but I thought I'll just pop a few little screenshots in of the outside. So yeah, there is some of them which will be coming up soon, so I think I'm going to leave it here. And thank you everybody for watching. I really can't convey how truly grateful I am for all the likes, the comments, the subs. You guys are just so lovely and sweet, and I just can't thank you all enough. It really is like so overwhelming, so like thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, and hopefully I'll see you back for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.